Here we
Welcome
are.
back to another edition of Live Feed Read. Paul Reed here, your host, with my Ed McMahon, Jason Crawford.
Hey,
This
hey.
is a Valentine's edition because, of course, guys, it's a couple of days away, and so we'll talk about that later. Jason, today's topic is
All right.
jury selection and how it works.
Okay.
People, or you or others, might have got that little summons in the mail that
I
says
have.
you've been selected to come down to Hillsborough County and participate in jury selection. It's a very
Yep.
important process because
They didn't
without
pick me, but they did call me. Yeah.
without
Yeah.
jurors, you don't get a trial. And so what's going on, which is in the news, is jury selections occurring in the Curtis Reeves trial.
Okay.
When we talked, you said, "What is that, and who is that,
Yeah.
and why do I care?" No, but
No.
So let me. And you said, "Why don't you just let people know, just in case, because it has been 8 years." So
Yeah. Okay.
if you recall, which you don't, but in 2014, a Curtis Reeves and another gentleman are at a movie theater up in Wesley Chapel.
Okay.
It's my understanding they got into a dispute, sadly enough, about talking on the phone or texting during the previews. Curtis Reeves at that time was 71 years old. Chad Olson was the individual that was actually shot and killed, was 43. And it escalated with throwing of popcorn and a gunshot
Wow.
over a phone. So that's the gist of it.
Wow.
It's
Okay.
I believe it's the longest time in Hillsborough County history, and someone can fact check me, but I believe I read that,
Okay.
between someone being charged with a crime and going to trial.
That's wild.
We're talking like 8 years. But
Yeah. Wow.
anyway, jury selection started Monday. And so backing up, you get your little summons in the mail, you go down, and ours would be Hillsborough County. This one is Pasco County because that's where the incident occurred. But you go down to the jury selection room, which in Hillsborough County is a very large auditorium that holds, I believe, somewhere between 200 and 300 people.
Okay.
And so then you go in, you register, and you sit and wait. All right. And you sit and wait until or unless you're called. And if you oftentimes you can go down the wait 8 hours and not be called, you just go home. But let's assume
Yeah.
you're called to be a potential juror.
Yep.
Usually in a civil trial, which is my neck of the woods,
Okay.
they bring in about 21 to 30 people into the courtroom.
Right.
And they line you up, 777 or 888 or 999, 3 rows deep. And the lawyers and the judge basically start asking you questions. And they ask you questions basically to root out people who they think can't be fair or unbiased, who may have already prejudged the situation. So in this case, that's very important, because as you read through the media press, and there's a woman in there that's writing a blog or whatever, and she's sitting in the courtroom and she's doing some explaining what's going on.
Yeah.
The biggest thing in these criminal trials with a lot of publicity is simply that, Mr. Juror or Mrs. Juror, have you heard about this case? And of course, Pasco County, evidently, and I'm kind of reading through what she's writing, is the answer to a lot of these questions from a lot of people are absolutely, yes, I've heard about it.
Okay.
Once that occurs, then they basically separate you from the others, and they can and are evidently individually asking people what they've heard, what do they know about the case, and have basically formed an opinion. And some of them are basically saying, yes, I formed an opinion. I think one person said, which is an easy thanks for coming, well, if he was arrested, he must have done something wrong. Well, which of course is wrong, and that's incorrect. You can be arrested. That doesn't mean you've done anything wrong, but that once you
a lot of people don't know that.
And if you're wanting to get off a jury trial,
that's what you say.
Hey, just say that, you're gone. Thank you. Jeez. And have a nice day.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like where there's smoke, there's fire, you're out. The other one,
Okay.
others were, well, it started from a cell phone and it shouldn't ended in a death. A little less judgmental, but people in my mind, if you say that, you're thinking, well, it shouldn't have happened. It ended in a death. Therefore, you may be biased against the defendant. That person might have been released as well. But that's what's going on. And in this case, it can take several days because they ask both sides, the judge, the prosecutor, and the defense ask a lot of questions.
Is there a time when they just run out of people who haven't heard of the case?
Well, yes.
Like with social media the way that it is now and everything, like
yeah, but yes, there's a time when the publicity is just too great.
Yeah.
And it's called a change of venue. They would move the case to say Miami or Jacksonville or Tallahassee or Pensacola, where no one's heard of it, so to speak, or they heard about it 8 years ago when it was on world news, but they don't know anything about it at all.
Got
if
you.
it gets that into that situation, they could.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like it is, because remember, the Pasco County in the last 8 years, there's been a housing boom and people moving in. So there's probably a lot of people who are now residents of Pasco County that weren't 8 years ago, and so
fair enough.
And just because Jason Crawford's heard of it doesn't mean you've formed an opinion. So
also true.
Just because you say, I've heard of it. Well, Mr. Crawford, do you have an opinion on whether or not Curtis Reeves is guilty? Nope, I don't know any of the facts. I read in the paper, 3, 4, 5 years ago about this happened. It's sad someone was killed, but I don't know what happened. I'm assuming if I'm chosen, I'm going to hear what happened. I'm going to hear both sides, and then I'll determine it. Well, that's going to be hard to kick old Jason Crawford off. You haven't prejudged anybody yet, even though you've heard about it. You're willing to listen to the prosecution's case. You're willing to listen to the defense case. And then after you've heard all the evidence from witnesses, experts, or otherwise, then I'll make my decision. Well, that's going to be tough to, that's my computer. That's going to be tough to kick you off.
Got you.
But that's what happens. And then they'll pick alternates, because in the civil trial, 6 people decide the case, and the criminal is 12 in this matter, but they want alternates. And then in this case, they might want 8 to 10, because God forbid, this could take a 2 or 3 weeks, this trial. Halfway through, COVID whacks.
Somebody gets,
1, 2, 3, 4. So they're going to want a lot of alternates. So my guess is they're probably going to have 20 people sitting on that jury, 12 plus 8. Now, you know what stinks is typically you don't know whether you're an alternate, right? So Jason Crawford, in a civil trial, we might have 1 alternate in a 5-day trial. COVID, they may have a couple. But either way, at the end of the case, they're reading the jury and they say, Jason, thank you for coming. You're an alternate. Go home. Ha! You're screwed. So you sat there all week. You didn't go to work. And now you don't get to deliberate. You got to go home. Boy, I tell you, the look, and I've, the look on those people's face are just not happy.
Yeah. You know what? Like, good luck calling them back again, right? Yeah. Like, does that feel like, I don't know.
Well, I don't know. I'm just letting
but you got to have your safeguards in your system as well. Yeah.
It's the way it is.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe some people are relieved. Maybe like, I don't know. I'm glad I get to go home, especially on a criminal case where you may or may not want to, but I don't think so. I think if people, because a lot of people will come up with a reason. If they don't want to be there, they'll let you know. Oh, I can't miss work. I've got a child, And so I think most people that kind of make it to that point actually want to, but I would be totally frustrated if I sat there for O.J. Simpson. If I sat there for 9 months.
Wow, bro.
And remember, they were locked up. What do you call it? They were sequestered.
They were in deliberation. Yeah.
Well, they were sequestered for 9 months. Couldn't watch TV. And then, hey, Mr. Crawford, thanks for coming. You don't get to participate in jury.
Man.
The jury. Oh my Lord, have mercy. I'd go postal. All right. So anyway, that's how it works.
And the pay is never.
Each side,
reasonable.
depending on the judge's, ruling and so forth. Like in civil case, each side gets three challenges. That just, it's just got to be. I don't like this person for whatever reason. Now,
so they can pick someone, but then the other person can challenge their pick.
Sex, color, religion, things like that. But if somebody said something, or they did something, or you just don't have a good feeling, as long as it's not discriminatory, you get three kind of thanks for coming peremptory challenges, but I don't want you on you here.
Yeah.
But so it's but I will tell you, if you ask trial lawyers across the globe, at least across the country, they will tell you most cases are won and lost at jury selection.
Okay.
And that's why I don't know if you watched the show Bull, but he's a trial analysis consultant.
Yeah.
He's a jury consultant, and they make a lot of money, and they do exist, believe it or not. And get paid a lot, because people really realize it can, your jury selection and who's on that jury can matter.
Wow.
That's simple. All right.
Yeah.
So with that, we're going to say, okay, so this is Valentine's Day. What is it? Valentine's Day is Monday?
Monday. Yep.
Monday the 14th.
Monday the 14th.
Jason, we have the sign up there right now. It's funny, I have Valentine's Day, get ready Publix, because you know as well as I do, I'm just going to call it out, every guy in the world leaves work, stops by Publix, grabs a card with little thought or effort. I'm just saying, been there, done that, or just some flowers and maybe chocolate, and goes home and says Happy Valentine's Day. That's great.
Chocolate.
That's okay. It's better than nothing. Some of us don't even do anything as far as that goes.
Yeah.
Good luck with that happy marriage, happy wife saying. But
my wife and I, we actually don't do Valentine's Day. We do, so the 13th of every month we do something like that. That way we get to skip Valentine's Day when it comes, because we just did it yesterday, right?
Let's translate. Jason's cheap, and so he came up with a way to every month save himself some money.
I do it every month. What do you mean?
Have to do Valentine's. Mr. Crawford aside, guys, stop in and grab those flowers.
Yeah.
When you hand them to that special person, a hug, a kiss, and an I love you. Bam,
yeah, man.
Bam.
Just stuff that matters.
Just say it. Flowers, hug, kiss, I love you, bam.
Yeah, it's not really about the stuff, right?
It's not. But in all fairness, it's nice. That's like saying birthday present's not about a gift. Who we kidding? I want to get a gift.
I want a present. Yeah.
Exactly. Hey, dinner, flowers,
make the moment.
Chocolate, champagne, all of that's fine. All of that's good. I recommend it. But I can also tell you, a hug, a kiss, and an I love you. And you're solid. You're solid for another till you screw up next time.
Till tomorrow.
All right. So that having been said, that's just my.
That's why I have to do it every month. By the way,
my advice as a 57-year-old single man who will not be stopping at Publix and not be giving the hugs, kiss, and I love you to anyone, but that's the way it goes. All right, well, thanks for tuning in. We will see you, God willing, next week.
All right.
For Jason Crawford, Paul Reed, and we're out.
We're out.